Hi, my name is Rob Sproule. I'm the Forestry Superintendent for the Village of Oak Park. Today we thought we'd take a couple minutes to talk to you about tree pruning. When we're talking about tree pruning, we kind of make a distinction between two different types of trees. Larger shade trees and smaller ornamentals, which kind of act as accents through your yard. If you're dealing with larger shade trees, that's really an appropriate time to get a professional involved. Something to always keep in mind with pruning is that you are doing damage to a tree when you prune it. You are putting a wound on the tree and reducing the tree's photosynthetic capabilities. The placement of these cuts is what's really important to make sure that you do minimal damage and ensure that it's going to be able to close the wounds as quickly as possible and recover sooner. The typical tools that you would use for pruning would include a pair of hand pruners or a pruning saw. There are basically three kinds of cuts that you would do: heading cuts, removal cuts, and reduction cuts. A heading cut is probably the simplest cut that we would do on a tree. That's where we're going to make a cut along a smaller twig like this where we have a lot of foliage growing. We would identify the bud that we want to maintain, and we would use a heading cut to just cut directly atop that bud. That'll redirect growth away from the walking path here and allow us to maintain a lot of that structure of the branch. A removal cut is where we reduce a lateral branch back to its larger parent branch. We always make a removal cut at 45 degrees from the parent branch, right along that branch collar and branch bark ridge. And we'll use the standard 3-cut method that professionals use to minimize damage to the tree. Starts with an undercut and then an overcut out along the stem further, and that just prevents any sort of peeling that could occur with the use of the saw. And what we've left is a stub here, which is often what we see in the industry residents doing. And this is inappropriate pruning. We actually want to make one more cut on this branch and bring it back to this branch collar so that the tree can heal that wound more quickly. So we'll make our cut, and we just want to slow down as we get to the end here to make sure that we don't get any peeling from this removal. And there we go. A reduction cut is where we remove a larger parent branch back to a smaller lateral branch in order to reduce the size of that plant. So we're actually going to remove the larger material and leave the smaller material. In this case, we can still get away with using a pair of hand pruners, and we're going to make the cut right along the base of the collar here. But the most important thing to remember with a reduction cut is that the lateral branch we're reducing to needs to be about a third to half the size of the branch that you're removing in order to make sure that the larger branch itself survives that cut. If you ever have any questions about parkway or private trees, you can call us at Public Works at 708-358-5700.